I've done the right things. I've hit the right buttons. Welcome everybody to Reinventing the Tattoo. Tonight we have Renee Little's Paint Jam that we're really excited to kick off here in just a couple minutes. So those of you tuning in live, let us know that all of these streams are working by either tagging a friend in the chat, someone who loves tattoos, or you can go to our website and join us too at reinventingthetattoo.com. If you scroll down to our calendar, today's date, you will see the Zoom link right there to join in. We're really excited for this place where we have to offer tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious, which are we encourage you guys to join in these live streams. We have real world events that we often go to share and inspire with the goal of creating better art and tattoos together. We beam out actually nearly every day, and with your help, we've evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows. You guys can find us in a lot of different places, whether you're watching live or the replay. We're in either of the app stores, Apple or Google. We're on YouTube, where you can set reminders, and we have a Roku channel. So if you go to your Roku device, search for Reinventing the Tattoo, we have 24/7 streaming content there. Also, we have podcasts on any of your major podcast providers like Spotify, Apple, all those good ones. Other than that, some of our weekly shows that are happening, like I said, nearly every day are really cool, fun to join or watch. Right now, still is Robbie Raffles, Let's Talk About Feelings, at every Monday night at 5. Also Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern is Jason Leeser's Reinventing Drawing Group, Skill Building Sundays. Mondays start early with 9 a.m. Drawing for Tattooers led by James Wisdom. We also have the Tattoo Weekly, which is happening with Jake Meeks, Gabe Ripley, and myself every Monday at 11 a.m. Let's Talk About Feelings is at 5, and right here, once a month, is Renee Little's Paint Jam. Also, if you guys are part of the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon and the Evolution classes led by Guy Aitchison, you can find those every single Monday night at 9. Tuesday mornings, we have Ricardo Sturdivant's drawing group. Wednesdays, we have the Tattoo Now show and business roundtable. And at 6 on Thursdays, we have Tattoo Collecting 101. So I think Renee is going to say a few words with us. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over the cameras. Robbie is here as well. So let's see what everybody's up to. Renee, how are you?
Good. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and watching. This one, I really hope if you're watching, if you're a tattooer, a mentor, or an apprentice, or you want to tattoo and you're doing art tonight, feel free to join the group. This is all about us being able to just chill, do our art projects, paint, and converse with like-minded people that normally aren't around each other. So if you're watching, please feel free to join or comment in the section so we can see what your questions are and we can answer them for you live. Tonight's subject, it's a very dear one for me, but I'm really curious out there to what everyone has to say. What is the state of tattoo apprenticeships in America right now? What are some apprenticeships, or what are some apprentices going through? What are they looking at as far as their career in the future? You know, things have really changed in the last 20 years to even now in the last 5 years with COVID. We're seeing different ways of scheduling, different ways of marketing. I'm really curious about what everyone has to say about what their experiences have been currently, and also what us as like the older mentors, what we hope to see from you apprentices. You know, maybe even some tricks of what would help us say that you can help us get an apprenticeship, keep your apprenticeship. What are we looking for as far as potential future tattooers? As with everything is changing, I really hope that the next future generation of tattooers out there are not only better than us, but more careful, more, caring. I hope that the next, I would like to not see the decline of tattooing, because I know it is becoming very popular. And so I'm curious out there what everyone's thinking and doing. So yeah, hey Robbie, we didn't get to say hello yet. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. This is great. This is like for everyone who doesn't know, me and Robbie have known each other for over I don't know, forever.
Yeah, so way many years.
Yes, and Fawn and Lauren and I too. We've been just I don't know. I love you guys too. We've known each other for a hot minute too.
Well, I got to meet Lauren Lauren and Fawn through Reinventing, and this is my first time seeing Fawn. I was on her show, and she wasn't there one time. And so, yeah, great to be in the presence of wonderful humans who I appreciate very much.
I know. I appreciate all you guys a lot. So thanks for coming.
Oh, we're
Um,
already getting mushy, guys.
Next month. And when I get to, okay, so that's the part of the draw night too, because I do ask a lot of questions of people out and about. Like I do try to converse with anyone that talks to me on Instagram or emails or anything. And a lot of people are very intimidated about like joining the draw night. But this is our time to be kind of selfish, like professional artists. We get to like literally play in the sandbox with people that are doing just as we're doing. And I think that's really, really on a whole different level, kind of a way to cure your ailments of stress and worry, just knowing that other people like you are doing exactly what you're doing. And we're all coming together just to be able to play, you know. Other people get pissed off when we're sitting and drawing and not making eye contact. But here, the four of us know exactly what we're doing. So for me, it's hard to have like a serious conversation unless I'm drawing. So no, and Robbie, I'm really glad you're actually here because you have known me for so long. You've known me in my young years tattooing. You know a little bit of what I've been through. I know what you've been through. You know, we like started like up really, like we really made our name for ourselves in Florida, like the jungle of tattooing. So that's a really good point of view that I know you'll have some really interesting to say, you know, where I get to talk about my apprenticeship all the time here in the Midwest and people are like, what? Like, it was a little different back then.
Oh man. Oof.
So yeah, with that, I want to also say if anyone's listening out there that is a young apprentice or looking to be or anything like that, if you see us old timers, as I'll call us, oh no, better wizards. Yeah, we're mage wizards now, I think. Yes. We're not old timers yet. We're mage wizards. Yes. When we talk about our apprenticeships, I think I can speak for the most of us. None of us are comparing ourselves necessarily to what we expect of the young folk. These are just things that we've been through and either know that they were really helpful or know that they were fucked up. We know that this is just what our experience was. And it's just fun to kind of, you know, see how it's changed. It's fun to see how the future is now and go, oh, woe is me, the past, you know. But a lot of that does help us set our standard of what we know you guys are going to have to go through in this industry. Because if you do want to move upwards, if you do want to aspire to do other things, just tattooing at your home shop, you will experience all different kinds of people, all different kinds of rules, different expectations, different environments. And I think as a mentor, I've always tried my hardest to make sure that they were ready for anything. So let's start with that. Like, Robbie, I know that you've had some apprentices, correct? Are you currently in like mentoring right now or are you?
So I opened the studio and I have this problem where I'm like, I have it, so you can have it too. So
Right.
anyone that wanted to learn how to tattoo that I felt some spark with, I said no to quite a few people, but like I took on 6 or so apprentices since I opened my studio.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you school.
Actually, probably like 8, maybe.
Mhm.
And 2 of them had to be fired immediately. Not long in. Actually, there was another one that also we decided it was a bad idea for them to continue. So I'd say there's 6 people out there that have learned how to tattoo from me in the past 2 years and can do it really well. I learned a really good method on how to teach. It's very simple. It's kind of throw them to the wolves. It's trace 10,000 items, and then you can pick up a tat gun. Then when you pick up a tat gun, you can start ruining people for free. And then when I start seeing you progress, and you can only do black silhouettes, and then when I progress, then you can start charging a little bit of money. And then when I see you have black, lines and shading good, then we start dimensionalizing your things. And, it's a very much quickly put the blocks in place so we can create a foundation and move forward. That's wonderful. It works. You can tattoo in a year or less following this exact fucking curriculum. The problem is the humanality of it.
Right. The moral change is different.
Right. When I feel a need to scream at you because the 5-gallon jug's lip is touching the floor in my tattoo studio, you shouldn't get indignant and think that I'm being mean. Because, I have a baby and I don't want him to die because I'm drinking water that has contaminants in it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I have these like no-goes, and I'm still too mean sometimes, straight up. Like I'm still too hard. I'm still too rough. I'm still too edgy. But I'm a lot fucking nicer than I ever was. So the story all that was meant to say, yes, I am now in apprenticing again, but like, because I don't have all of those apprentices still in my shop, because of personal reasons and otherwise, I am now looking for loyalty of human being before artistic prowess and hustle and drive.
Well, what do you think is the main, like morally, like the human implication, being humanistic in this field? What do you think is, oh, hey, Amber. Hey. She's cool too. She knows what's up.
Yeah, and feel with me.
Yeah. Hey, Amber. What do you think is, Frank? Like, what do you think is like normal jobs? Oh, hey, baby. Hey. Normal careers in the world. What do you think is different from our jobs versus like a normal, like, you can't even call it a job. It's a career. It's a trade. It's a life. What do you think is so different from a normal career versus tattooing?
This is the most personal, like the most personal career we could have. There's not another job where we like have people's physical bodies in their hands, as well as like all of their emotions, all of their trauma, all of like, in addition to making a permanent mark that they and their loved ones are going to see for the rest of their life. There's not a more personal, up close job anywhere in the world. Not even doctors have the kind of connection that we have to most of our clients. I think that is what makes tattooing different. And I think that's why it needs to be respected coming into it. And if you don't respect those vulnerable connections that we make and the permanence of the mark that we're making on somebody, then you're not in it for the right reasons. And you're probably not going to get through an apprenticeship very successfully.
Yes, perfectly said. I think there is a vanity about tattooing that people see and that they like. They like the look of it. They like to think that they're rolling back in their chair, they're doing action shots, they're looking cool, they're showing off, themselves being artists. They're proving that they're working artists. They're doing all these things, which is but it's the vanity aspect of tattooing. It's not actually the core responsibility that we take on for these people. And Robbie, the number one thing that you said there is like, you felt like the bad guy. Like you felt like I'll say it like, because I felt it, the monster in the scenario, but really you're passionate to the point where you are like, we do have emotions that arise from this because to the breaking point, like we've said it enough. Please be careful. Please be mindful. Please be careful. And I think I don't know, this is my theory, but there's a lot to do with like social media, the aspect that people aren't hand in hand a whole lot. People aren't like making connections with people a whole lot. I think that's the hardest hurdle to get through, is that mindset of, I am taking care of a stranger right now. I've told.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but like the apprentice that, got lots of views on social media because they shared their process and now has 150,000 followers. and gets to say, okay, books closed as an apprentice, will never understand what the fuck you just mean by taking care of your client. Because they're not taking care of the client. They're taking care of their social media and they're taking care of their books, but they're not taking care of the human. And the other
Unless
thing.
they got that shit down, but that's rare.
What's that? What's
Unless
that?
they got that shit down,
Right,
you know, like,
right.
I've told a couple people that I could tell were kind of just in that mindset. They're a little too immature, and I can't say young, I can't say old because that has nothing to do with it.
Right.
But there is a level of maturity, you know, where I'm like, well, have you worked any jobs? Have you worked anything? They're like, no, I'm fresh out of college. I'm fresh out of this. I've worked in retail for this long or that long. I'm like, go work, go be a nanny, go work at an old folks home, like go work at a retirement center.
Cool. Yeah.
Go clean up piss and vomit and go hold someone's hand that's in need and confused and scared. Go, you know, because that is a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, and I say that like, well, unless they got their shit going on.
Right.
But that's like, so I feel like there is like this race, this challenge in a lot of people is to get the followers, get the books lined up, you know, like that shows success. But really, and the reality is, even though I don't know how we can stress it, and that's another reason why I'm bringing it up as a topic today, is because I think that there's a lot of tattooing that's conveyed of just like, this is what you want, this is success. You know, there's no measure of success.
There's something I saw earlier today, and I wish I would have thought to like bookmark or save this reel, but it was a tattooer that was talking about the difference between clients and followers. And he's like, just because you have 10,000 followers does not mean you have 10,000 potential clients. How many of those followers are relevant? How many of those followers will actually sit in your chair and help pay your bills? Not very many. Followers does not equal clients.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge misconception, because people will be like, oh, I've got thousands of followers, and when I put, I'll take a walk in today, chair open, nobody calls me, and then they beat themselves up, when in reality, like, that's like walking into like Quality Farm and Fleet and shouting like tattoo for sale and wondering why no farmers and 12-year-olds turned around to give you money. Like, that's not how it works. Like, you got to talk to your audience, and I'm not saying don't have a high follower count, but don't count your followers as potential clients. I think that's a mistake a lot of people make.
It helps with credibility. You know, if you have following, that's how art works. If you have a credible name, if you have a credible, like, then yes, you can charge a certain amount for your art, like painting and stuff like that. So I can see like the connection there. But yes, like to keep a good clientele.
But like, in reality, all you need, like if you're gonna look at like, if like, as we as tattooers, when we like follow somebody new and we look at their page, all you need is like 2,000 or 3,000 followers, and you could have your books totally filled. And 2,000 or 3,000 followers, that's probably like 10% of a small town. So that's like a lot of a small demographic if you're actually reaching out to your community. If I am concentrating on getting followers all over the world, and followers in LA, and followers in Seattle, and followers in New York, how is that going to help me in Ohio?
Yes, exactly.
Start traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
well,
know,
then that costs me money. So why am I going to cater to people that are hundreds of miles away when I'm right here? I'm in my community where people know me. Why wouldn't I want to reach out to the people that could actually, like, you know, pick up their phone and realize that we have the same 3-digit prefix in our phone number? Like, oh, this person's actually local, and I can get to this person without scheduling a vacation and yada, yada, yada. And then the other thing is like, I just feel like the social media gives all young tattooers and potential apprentices just like a false sense of reality altogether. Because like what me and Renee and Robbie and Medusa and Amber are posting is not what we were posting when we first picked up a tattoo machine. That's not, we didn't have the capabilities then. So you've got all these young tattooers that are comparing themselves to things that are just unrealistic.
Yeah.
And that's how media was for me at the beginning. Like, I remember Brandon Bond was like, oh, I got people flying in from all over the world. So I'm like, oh my God, I need a worldwide reach. So I wanted to fucking have a worldwide reach. You know what I'm saying? And so like I'm wasting all this fucking time trying to get well known in all these areas so people will fly to me when really like I just needed to nurture my local clientele. And I was the guys that were doing cooler things than me in an unrealistic fashion. So yeah, fun.
Robbie, do you remember, like, because I know you and I traveled the same circuit for a long time. And I feel like within our group, you know, before Ink Masters, before all of that, before our group, we were Instagram chasers. We were like, we were on the game. We were hustling hard. We were the one that were, look at our fucking followers. Look at how many shows we're doing. Look at reach. Like I had like, I don't know, like so many fucking followers in Russia, for God's sake.
Right. What?
Why? And it was before
that gonna do
that.
like those
it made me have to travel. It made me have to hustle even harder. It made me, and I mean, yes, a lot of those clients I still have to today, and I still have to, like, this year I'm trying to figure out how to go to Chicago, and I know what was me, but when I have all these other responsibilities, going to Chicago is the last thing I want to do. Speaking of Chicago people, I love you, and you're so goddamn patient, and I love you so much. Thank you. I'm figuring it out. It's been since before COVID, because you know, life. But that is actually, we created problems for ourselves. You know, we created like, and then when I finally sat down and I finally really focused in on who my clients were, and now I have like one travel folder. Those are all my travel people. And then I have like my home people, and I like worship my Oklahoma clients. I feed them, I nest them like a little plant, and I'm growing them. I drop the seed, I'm watering. This is Amy Shandick that said this. I drop the seed, I'm watering it, I'm watching it grow. I spray them every day. I send them emails. I send them texts. I ask them how they're healing. I ask, hey, do you need touch-ups? If you do, this is what we're doing. I wait like a year and say like, hey, do you want to come in for a photo shoot? To like take, you know, so your clients that you have are spending so much money with you, even if they're getting just a little wrist jammer to a full sleeve to a bodysuit. They're spending so much time, so much money. They're asking us to do these custom art projects for them. So give them that experience, and they will stay with you forever. Like some of my biggest pieces that I have today, I started because I tattooed them during, I don't know, a benefit. I did like a little $60 like little jammer on them, and they just love their experience so much with me that now I'm doing full body suits on them. And I have a relationship with them. Like if you do go to shows and you do like compete at shows, and you see all these people with their clients going up on stage, and their clients look like family to that artist, it's because that artist treats them that way. You know, I've had so many people walk up to me after shows, like, man, your clientele are like a herd of your harem. Like, they've got your, like, they traveled with you? What? Like, yeah, we're shared a hotel. Like, I'm like, no, guys, I'm not partying. I'm hanging out with people, you know, because they are my people. They're rad, you know, like there's a decision that you have to make when you're getting large pieces. And it's, do I like this artist enough? Like, do I want to be around them enough? Do I feel like my money is going towards the product that I'm getting, and the person is good enough for me to do that?
To the other side of that, as the artist, like people ask me, especially since the baby, right? My time is way more valuable to have a baby. And I'm like, you know, people are like, oh, well, your prices used to be this. And I'm like, well, I have a baby and I'm 42. So now my more valuable. So, you know, like, I only have space for a certain amount of clients per week. That's it. Bottom line. Otherwise, I go nuts and I hate my life. So when you're sitting in my chair, if you got a holiday discount special from me and now you're sitting there fucking time watching and you're saying, hey, when's this thing going to get finished? I'm like, bro, sometimes I don't start tattoo until 4 p.m, even though you got here at 1, because the art's not ready. The mood isn't here. But you're going to get tattooed the rest of the night, whatever the fuck it is. And like, you have to know how I flow. And if you flow with me as a client, and I don't want to sit down and eat dinner with you, I don't want you in my chair. Like if I want to look at it, Like, I don't want to fucking have you in my chair because I've spent more time with you today than I am Donna, my baby, my oldest son, and all of my friends. So if you've got all my attention today, fuck, I better like you. Like I had a guy and I kind of used him in this little analogy. He had a discount from I did $1,000 off my day rate in December. And I was just like, let's book it up. Let's get a bunch of people in here and do some cool things. Well, this guy was a real pain in the ass. Was a pain in the ass about making his second appointment, never laid his deposit down. And then things got messed up at the front desk and he never laid his deposit. So when I show up for his next appointment, he actually didn't book it because he never fucking paid his deposit. And I was relieved that he no-showed me. I hardly ever get cancellations or no-shows, but I was so excited that this happened because to continue working with this guy would have fucking killed me.
Yeah.
He weeded himself out though.
Exactly.
He didn't have to do anything. He weeded himself out.
And I gave him a slick fucking outer half sleeve. Like his whole outer fucking portion of his arm is done in one session. So like, cool. You got a big tattoo. It was cheap. And now I don't really like you and you probably don't like me. Awesome. Don't have to work.
That's a good thing to keep in mind for everyone that wants to get tattooed by Robbie and me as well. But
yeah.
Apprentices as well. If we can't sit down and eat dinner with you, we don't want to be around you.
Yeah. If you can't my house, you're not my apprentice. Like bottom line, dude.
Yeah.
Does breakfast count?
Yes. If I can't have breakfast with you, I don't want to be around you.
Okay, because we've had breakfast and I just wanted to make sure that I'm in.
Yeah, I think I've eaten breakfast and dinner with like all of you except Amber.
We had
Amber.
an awesome breakfast at last night, right, Medusa?
I know you.
The French toast.
Yeah. Do you guys remember me running away from breakfast that one time? What was that? What was that event? Was that
Jiminy Peak?
I ran away from breakfast because I have this thing about being in the same room that bacon's being cooked in.
Didn't know that.
I know. No one does. Hannah, who saw me?
That could
leaving?
literally be any time.
I know.
Because like the only time I actually remember having breakfast with you, Renee, was when the kitchen was somewhere else because we went to that restaurant. That Mexican restaurant, which wasn't really breakfast. It was like late.
It was good though.
It was really good. But yeah, you didn't have to watch any bacon being cooked.
Well, it's not even watching. It's like the smoke and stuff. So you guys see me bolt and dip. And that's why I love all of you.
I wondered where you went. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I just got to go. I'm also scared of holes. So, what are you going to get from me? Little ones. Holes. Ugh. Yeah. Gross.
Like these
No,
holes?
No, I'm friends with Toddy. I'm fine with those.
Right. So like, what, does it weird you out to see your homies big?
No, it's like pestilent holes. Like,
like honeycombs.
Like honeycombs, like lily pads when they're all dried out. Like
oh
yeah, the collection of holes in a webbing structure.
I have a weird thing with bumpy texture. If it's a lot of round bumpy texture all in one, it like skeeves me out. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm like that with worms.
Oh, see, yeah, we all have it. It's pestilence. We're like scared of death and decay. It's a good thing, really. I looked it up. Why does tryptophobia happen? And I Googled it and it was like, because humans are innately in fear of death and pestilence. I was like, oh, cool. And it shows decay. So, facts, science. But no, I think it's a lot to be said. What is it called? Like the airport tests? I know a lot of high ranking corporate executives do this test for new employees. They'll have to take like a travel trip together and they'll go to the airport and they'll say the flight is at this time. When they get there, they're like, our flight's delayed. Want to go to the bar and grab a drink with me? And if that employee can't hang, they don't get the job.
Ooh,
that's a thing.
That's a thing. So if you're trying to get a job and some weird flight thing happens, it's because they're trying to check you out. And you can do this in different ways. You can vet people in your own ways to see what's important to you. you know, but that is the thing. Like, if you can't hang, can you imagine, Robbie, like you and I both have seen each other freak the fuck out on the road, you know, like, but we all handle our shit.
Yeah.
I've seen you, like, you know, and you still held your shit together, you know, like there's things that people just like we can't do when we're in a professional environment, but yet we know we're friends. We know we can lean on each other.
Yes.
But if you can't hang apprentices that want to be apprentices or not, we are around you more than we're around our families, our pets, everything. And I have the Florida mentality where I'm like, if you're not utilizing me, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself, you know?
Yeah.
I said that here in Oklahoma. They had no idea what I was talking about. And they're like, oh, Renee. I'm like, no, it's a saying. It's an expression.
That's real shit down here, dog.
Well, I guess I'm not your mentor anymore. I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
Oh, sorry. Now we saved some time, didn't we?
I did wait. But that's the thing. It's because we have to also vet the people we're bringing into this. And this is me personally. I feel like we have to vet people coming into our industry because, one, they speak for us, they represent us. 2, 3, we are introducing these people to our friends, to our colleagues. Like, I trust some of my homies in the tattoo world more than my own family. You know, like, I know you guys know me. Like, I'm not gonna serve sociopaths to you.
I had an apprentice that is he and I went our separate ways, and it was a very good thing.
Yeah.
From the beginning, I didn't see how it was going to work because he didn't align with Rading's beliefs. And so one day I had very high dollar clients to my house after their session because they had just flown in. And
oh yeah.
I was like, cool. So we just did a long session, some dinner at my house. We'll have some drinks, we'll hang out. So he's over with us and he starts going on like this train about gays and lesbians and trans people. And I'm like, so now the whole fucking back porch gets madly uncomfortable. My guests that are here are extraordinarily uncomfortable. And I cried over this fucking instance because I was like, man, who the fuck am I that I have this person in my home and then I have these people here and I don't know how to keep that person, you know, together in line with Rad Inc. and the Rad movement and like who we are here, man.
Yeah.
You know,
if it's on your website, if you promote it and someone doesn't follow it, that makes your entire company look hypocritical.
Look like a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's our product. Like, that's so important. With the people that we have coming into our world are so important. And I realized it as a tattooer working under tattooers or under shop owners, but as a shop owner now, I'm just like, I have so much to protect because it's just a company. My name, it's my business, it's my brands, it's the history that I don't think I'm a gatekeeper, but I think I am. Like,
and it's how people will treat me if they hear about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not caring what other people think. That's just caring about who you are and what you produce, so that way people fucking know you more and don't think wrong of you. Because
you can't. It's hard to do good things when everyone thinks you're a piece of shit. You know.
Yeah,
it's really stifling for one's development if an entire community thinks you're a whore bag, you know.
And for me, like, I've been doing this rad movement stuff for a long time, right?
Yeah,
that was beautiful, but it was also bullshit and it was stupid of me because now if I am human as fuck and somebody knows me as only the Rad Movement Robbie, look what I can't fuck up. So like when I do fuck up and I'm not Rad Movement Robbie, you know, they forget that Rad Movement Robbie also says I'm human as fuck in these videos and like I fuck up and I'm not perfect, but they see the motivational side more, so they expect that more.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Well, they want to follow your rules, and the rules can be misinterpreted a lot.
Right. Right. And my rules that I fucking made for me to follow are because I'm not the greatest at them. So if I keep them, in the forefront for all of us to fucking keep me on, then I'm solid. But some people will see you make a mistake once and think, well, you're ruined.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting.
See, with the eco-friendly thing, if there's a piece of plastic put in a wrong bin in front of a client, oh shit. And I'm like, well, I'm trying my best to navigate and micromanage everything, but how I present it is like there's tiers, there are levels, there's no one that's perfect.
Right.
You know what? We just did the Philly convention, and there was this girl that came up towards the end of the day on Sunday. It might have been towards the end of the day Saturday, but either way, it was when like the crowd was starting to like thin a little bit for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we've got the whole eco-friendly line that we carry at True Tattoo Supply. We don't have everything that's eco-friendly, but we're getting there.
Right.
But she came up and she was like, "Do you have eco-friendly cartridges?" I was like, that's not a thing yet. And she's like, "Yes, it is." And I was like, "If you could show it to me, I would love to see it, but we don't have a quality Lexan or a quality plastic to compare to Lexan that they need to make the actual tip of the tube or the tip of the cartridge from." And she just looked at me like I was telling her all the lies in the world.
Well, maybe she was okay. I can see where she's confused because there is eco-friendly packaging for cartridges.
That's what once Jess and I started talking after the fact, she was probably like, it's probably one of the companies that has eco-friendly stamped on their package.
Well,
which
packaging is biodegradable, but the cartridge itself goes in the sharps container and should be burned by a bio center. Yeah.
Incinerated.
Because if it's not, once it's put in the landfill and someone sees that red box, they have to burn 20 feet circumference around that sharps container.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
I know, crazy. So that's why there's not a push for needle companies right now to make an eco-friendly plastic for cartridges because it has to be burned fucking anyways.
I do know that when Derb was making like the original True Tubes, the steel tipped tube, it's like black Lexan plastic with a steel tip. He explored some of the eco-friendly plastics, but they're just not rigid enough yet. Like they've got too much flex to them, or they're brittle and they crack once you tighten a vise down on them. So it's just the eco-friendly composites just aren't quite there yet for the precision applications that we need, but give it 5 years and it will be. Or if they legalize industrial hemp, I keep saying this over and over, but if they legalize industrial hemp, then we can use hemp-based plastics for everything. And it's just as strong, just as biodegradable, all the things, but we're not there yet.
India as well, they proclaimed a lot of promises to be making a lot of their single-use medical products into biodegradable products. So India might actually be really, really helping finish that plastic, molecule to make it that rigid, hard.
It's coming. It's just not here quite yet.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely putting the science in.
Okay. But I want to say hello to our new people. I don't think I introduced Medusa. Get on here. What are you doing? And who? I don't have a name. Everyone unmute themselves if they can, if they want to talk. And it should be if you tap the phone, you hit the little boop.
Here, I can help you out in the background.
Okay, thanks. Hey, but no, I think it is coming and things like that. I mean, it's all being made. We're all doing our best. We're all striving to figure things out. Like the last thing we need is someone just hyper criticizing us because some person just, isn't also striving, also isn't trying to figure it out.
Well, and the thing is, we're all striving to better ourselves. Those of us that have pride and care, we're all striving to better ourselves, and we're all striving to be the best version that we can be. But some of us are focusing on a different facet than what this, you know what I mean? Like if we're like a dice or a cube or a shape, we might be polishing this side and working on this side while everybody else is criticizing the other side. It's like, well, I can't do that at the same time I'm paying attention to this. I can't better that while I'm working on bettering this. So it's almost like we have to allow ourselves grace, even if people paying attention to us don't, you know?
Exactly. No, that's a good way to say it. I do like using the word grace and like the multifunction of it, because we have to be kind. Like this year, I told you guys, I'm being kinder to myself this year, and I'm being more gentle with myself. I'm literally saying this to fucking tattoo convention runners. Like, hello, I'm going to be doing this and this. I'm just being a little bit more gentle to myself. And, you know, some people ask me why, some people don't. And it's just because I realize I have to, you know, we have to. We can't be hard on ourselves, especially if we want to get things done, because the only way to get things done is to motivate yourself. And if you think you're failing in one area, you know, like you're not failing at all, just in one. That's okay. And
sometimes falling short doesn't necessarily mean failing. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that word fail is we're a little too hard on ourselves with that word. So falling short just means like goal not achieved yet.
Yet.
It doesn't mean you failed. It's just you're not to that goal yet.
Very good. Things do take time, especially if they need to be done right. And again, I just keep coming back to the apprenticeships. Things do need to be done right.
Things take more time when the universe decides you need to learn patience.
You know, I was just going to say, as you were bouncing back to the word apprentice, sometimes, you know, how, you know, that cheesy country song, sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. You know the song I'm talking about?
No.
Like, God, this cheesy song came out in like the 90s. But anyways, this guy's like, sometimes I'll thank God for unanswered prayers. And it gets crazy and sad and country and whatever. But like, how many of us tried for an apprenticeship or tried for multiple apprenticeships before we found one? I wanted to do an apprenticeship with an artist who I looked up to, and I really thought he was pretty good for like a small town artist. And I thought I could learn from him and, you know, take what I needed and move on. And like I was really working towards that for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I did not apprentice with him. And now, you know, 15 years later, what a blessing. Because I didn't learn his bad habits. I didn't have to unlearn art principles that he was going to try to unteach me, because I had already been, you know, I already had some art school background. So there were fundamentals that I knew as an artist that he wasn't applying in his daily work. So in hindsight, as much as I wanted to apprentice with this guy, I'm thankful that I didn't. It wasn't my path.
True.
I had this.
Pick one. Oh, go ahead, Medusa. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I had this exact same conversation at Hell City by the poolside with Chris Taylor, because it took me 13 years between me getting my very first apprenticeship and me becoming an actual professional tattooist, tattooing full-time for work, because I had a couple of not so I'm trying not to use the word failed apprenticeships because of what John said earlier.
Botched apprenticeships.
Botched, yeah, okay. I was just like, what other word can I use? Botched apprenticeships. And you know, one of the things I was talking with Chris about was that also, like, not only am I really grateful things did not work out then, I was like, I also understand that I was not at a point in time where I would be receptive to critique, to learning things, to humbling myself. I was 21. I was not anxious to go home and work on a drawing. I was anxious to close the door so I could go to the bar and go party with my friends. I thought I was hot shit, as most 21-year-olds think they are.
Medusa, I bet you were hot shit though. I bet you were.
I-
I was about to say, Medusa's hot shit now. So
Yeah, Medusa, you kind of like have that Joan Jett thing going on. She's always hot shit. She's been hot shit. She kind of created hot shit. So you're hot
You
shit.
guys did not, you guys know me. I'm turning 36 next week. It's been a fucking while. It's been a fucking while. I might be cool now, but 21-year-old me, well, you know what? I was also cool then too. I was just a really sloppy, hot, messy cool. But one of the things is like, I'm really glad that those apprenticeships, all of them, did not work out because I was not in a place where it should have worked out for me. Like it worked out when it was supposed to work out. And now I'm really fucking glad that I can proudly say I only have 2 years experience as a tattooer because I mean, honestly, I do as a professional tattooer, but also because I get to say that I'm one of those people who got a later start in life. You know, like after I hit 30, or with my career, I kind of technically started when I was 21, but those don't really count because I wasn't in the right mentality. And honestly, the people that were trying to teach me were taking me on because I was somebody who would do work for them, not because they saw potential in me and actually wanted to teach me anyways. So like, it's like, yeah, these botched apprenticeships can really be blessings. And like, sometimes you just got to really wait for the right moment. The right moment will happen.
I think that's a really good perspective. Hey, Mama Donna. Hey, honey.
Donna.
Kale hoy dia de.
Mas Aziz.
Sigara se te dere. Masura.
So they created this fake language. I'm in the fucking hospital with a broken ass fucking leg.
It's not fake.
And
It's not.
and Doc fucking starts speaking this language, and Renee just fucking responds like without dropping a fucking no skipping a beat or nothing, like boom, and then it's just their thing, and they just like you can feel what they're saying, and they have no worries. But it's such a hard language. I can't do it. Like I can't jump in. Like I just make stupid sounds. But these two sound like they're speaking a language. It's really weird.
Because we are.
Because we are.
Based on emotions. It makes sense.
Or
It's sure. He just doesn't understand. So
I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's powerful. Other people pick up on it. So, you know. Yeah. It's our safety. When you're not around, Robbie, we can do whatever we want in front of anyone we want to. And it's wonderful.
So speaking of apprentices.
No, yes.
I have decided to teach Donna how to tattoo.
Ooh, see, that makes sense.
And it's a very challenging process.
Oh, he wants.
Well, like, and let's be straightforward about like what it is. It's not just me being a cranky old fucking tat god, right? It's the fact that when she asks a question, there are 42 follow-up questions and then 42 subcategories with 42 other follow-up questions and every subcategory. So like, but the good thing on this, now I can explain to you like hand speed and needle depth and stroke and fucking like machine speed and how they all work together. And I can explain this to you in words because Donna made me. Because I didn't know how to explain this stuff before. It was all intuitive.
I have so many questions when I come see you next week. Oh my gosh. So many questions.
Totally got to start those apprentice videos again.
Yeah.
No,
I beat those up.
I'm totally going to.
And I asked like the really intricate questions, I feel like, because like you really have to dumb it down for me like I'm a child. Like I need to know exactly why.
Oh, you're breaking up. Oh, it just broke up. All of that. We didn't hear any of that.
I didn't say anything.
How about now?
I like to tell people when they're explaining to me, and Donna, I totally understand what you're saying, because I'll stop somebody and just be like, shh, 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 hold on, reset, explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yes.
And like, really explain it to me like I'm a fucking 5-year-old and I have no idea what you're talking about, because that's the only way I'm going to get it.
You need I'm like, I don't even know how to like eat food with like forks. Like I'm eating with my hands because I don't know.
Still on the spoons. You're way behind.
Yeah.
So
Next
there was
step,
this
exercise,
exercise.
then forks.
There's this exercise.
Oh, hey.
There's this exercise that I did in high school one time, and I can't remember what it was for, like some leadership class or something that I had to take for another thing. Anyways, the challenge was to explain how to tie a shoe to an alien that had never even been to Earth. So you first had to explain what a shoe is, and then explain what the lace is and what its purpose is. And then you had to explain how to hold it and make these intricate motions with it. And, I learned how to tie my shoes at a very young age. It came very easy to me. I didn't struggle with it. So something that was so easy for me to then like reverse engineer and be like, oh man, how would I explain? And it's crazy how you can take something that's incredibly mundane that you do every single day, like intuitive, like Robbie said, and then to think about that intuitive thing, that intuitive knowledge that you take for granted, those like intuitive specific steps, to take those steps and then reverse engineer them so that an alien could understand. Like the only thing you have in common is the same words. Outside of that, they know nothing. And it was just, I think it totally changed how I thought about teaching from like that point on, because no matter what, like for instance, if I were speaking to a room full of 15 people, 15 random tattooers, out of that 15, 3 are going to be super proficient, 3 to 5 just started last week, and everybody else is going to fall somewhere in the middle. So how do you teach a lesson without losing half of the class? So you have to very quickly break things down to their most basic parts and then reconstruct those pieces with words, and then tell people how to use those pieces as tools to do the thing that they're asking about. And it's really like mind bending if you think about what it's like to teach somebody who doesn't know anything. Because I have a tendency, like if somebody sits and asks me an art question, I tend to think that they have the same background knowledge that I have before going into it. Bingo. So sometimes I have to be like, hold on, what do you know about this, this, and this? So sometimes you've got to take it way back to answer the smallest question. Other times it's just like, why is this like that? And I can give you the answer. But there are a lot of times where it's like, well, this is like that because of this, this, and this wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for this, and this caused that. So I have to explain that whole chain of events to answer this little tiny question. So
it's pretty enlightening to find out what you know when you have to teach someone. It's almost like you reteach yourself. Yep. But with that, why I'm sorry for interrupting, but I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to bring up a really key point and bring it back to we aren't paid professors. Like we may be mentoring you because like in Oklahoma, we have to actually be licensed to mentor, like I take on the responsibility because I want to give back something, like I feel pretty selfish. Is all I'm doing is feeding myself. So, but we're not like, we don't have a stipend. We're not like paid professors, we are tattooers, and we can, like, it is hard to break it down and to explain. And so we try to be patient with you guys and work with you guys. Like we can only ask is like the same, just be patient with us. If we're not saying a full fucking beautiful sentence because we're tattooing and also describing what we're doing, just pay attention. Like if my mentor was a junkie and I could get him, you'd be fine with a sober one, like mine was passing out all the time. And I'd be like, I would have to piece together a conversation over a full day, a 24-hour span, because he would be like up and down, up and down. And finally by like 2 a.m. I get the rest of the story. You know, like it's weird to mentor. It's weird. It's awkward, but it is like rewarding to know that there is this like our skill can be carried on. You know, if we do have anything good to offer, we can pass it on to like the next people. You know, it's kind of like it's a beautiful, it's not a right, it's like it's a luxury to be able to like do that. But it's still awkward. It's still, you know, we've never gone to college to teach, you know, unless you have, then cool. So I think that's just, yeah, it's incredible to teach someone and to like have that whole mental process, but it is very awkward, you know.
It is. And like, so Donna doesn't want to do all the tracings that she needs to do.
Do it, so Donna.
I'm letting her sidestep it so that way she can realize how much she needs it and then get on it.
He's literally saying this when yesterday I went and bought tracing paper so he can.
Buying it and doing it are different things, my dear.
Yeah, but
where's your drawings?
Yeah, where's your tracings?
Where's your tracings? I don't see any tracings.
Why? It doesn't seem like you bought any tracing paper if you're not producing tracings.
Yeah. Oh, you bought the paper.
Go ahead. Let's keep this tat god beating going. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so the one thing I do gatekeep so hard, and I've realized it. Like I know you know, I'm not very religious, you know, per se, but there's tat gods, right? I don't think these young folk understand about the tat gods. Like, how do we possibly explain that there is a higher presence, right? Just hear me out. Higher presence, right? That is counting on us to fulfill their needed sacrifices, right? Some of those are, we have to tip service workers really well. We have to also get tattooed. We have to like fucking not steal or lie, contribute, not be douchebag.
Leave out a shot of bourbon and a pack of cigarettes before every Friday the 13th.
Yes. Shut the fuck up.
What I've been doing wrong.
Damn it, Vaughn, me and you both, dude.
leave your offerings so the tattoo gods will treat you well.
She's been around for a while.
Billy, he's like, yeah, man, tattoo gods knew what needed to happen. So, you know, I just surrendered to the process and I got some offers, and now, you know, my no-show day is solid because the tat gods, you know.
Yeah. I don't put my ointment out before my client gets there. No cancellations, no shows. If my ointment's out,
I have a superstition about setting up before my clients show up. I totally do. Every time I set up before my client gets there, even if I've communicated and they're like, I'm leaving my house now, I'm stopping for coffee on the way, what do you want? I give them my order and then they get pulled over.
Every time.
And they're like, well, I'm not going to be able to afford the appointment now because I just got pulled over for doing this and this. And it's like, bro, you didn't have to rush.
And I think there's a level of what to set up and what not to. Like, I don't pull out needles or set up my machine or anything, but I'll wrap my bottle and wrap my mayo tray too, because I can always put a plastic wrap over that and save it for the next appointment. But
nope. One time I literally, you know how we have the like tray covers that have all the caps built in and the rinse cups? I pulled one of those out and put it on my workstation. And 15 minutes later, my client called and said their kid was sick. I was like, I knew better. I knew better.
I don't have enough experience to speak on it. Maybe I've just had beginner's luck.
Dude. Well,
I'm not going to discourage anybody from setting up early. This is just for me and my energy and the way the spirits mess with my head. So
those are the tat gods. Those are the gods that keep us from making money, being lucrative. It's karmic. It's routine. like tattooers, we are a different breed, you know, like it's okay for us to set our goals and make them, no, believe in something to keep it like,
Yes.
and I've been kind of expressing to my friends and family, I'm like, there's a little cultiness to tattooing if you're really into it. Like you have to set yourself to these standards. Like I won't fucking sleep if I don't feel like I'm ready for the next day, and I won't be able to, you know, or there's little things here and there that set me to go, okay, well, that means I'm going to have like a nice drawing day. I'm going to do it from this time to this time. I'm going to try to focus because I'm terrible at following rules. You know, I'm a little Aries. If the rule doesn't make sense, I'm like, you know, so I need rules that like, oh, like, oh God, the tat gods will shame me for sure if I don't do that.
Yeah.
I have a rule, and like for the first few years I had this rule before I could like fully explain why I had this rule. Like it just sounds awful to say out loud, but if you're a tattooer, you're going to understand. And on this conversation, you're going to understand. But I have a rule that my family is not allowed to call and give me bad news, like not even the remotest bit of bad news before or during an appointment. Like text and say, hey, call me later on. Like you can say, hey, I got something serious, but don't text me with the bad news, because you've not only ruined my day, but you've taken away my clients. Like I've committed my time and energy to my client, and now you've taken away their experience for something that I'm in the middle of a tattoo appointment. I can't help till I wrap this appointment up anyways. So just for the sake of their time and energy and travel, don't ruin their day. And my family had a really hard time understanding that until I figured out how to explain that it was more about my client's well-being than mine. And it's not fair to ruin something that they've been looking forward to because of some silly little family drama that doesn't concern my client. You know, not to say that things are trite, but
well, sometimes they can be. I have a similar
but that's a hard rule.
It is a hard rule. I let them make the decision. If if they really have to talk to me because something bad has happened, they're free to text me because I don't really look at my texts that much when I tattoo. But if something really bad happens, they need to talk to me. I need to stop what I'm doing and react. Like call me 3 times in a row. And then I'll be like, oh, fuck. Like I have to answer it, you know?
Yeah.
And every single time, it's only been like twice in 8 years, so the last 8 years that's actually happened I can think of, you know, like, and both of them because someone died, you know, but that's a good rule to have. Like that's a boundary, you know, like the tat gods also help us have boundaries, you know, and like don't get into a fight before you start tattooing. I'm real strict about that. Like I've ended relationships because all they wanted to do is nitpick me before an appointment.
What about this one?
Yeah, my ex used to do that.
Yeah, fuck that. No, the tat gods will not be appeased by this.
So here's another thing that I think you need to be very mindful of for the tat gods. And this is probably, I'm not going to say it's the only reason I don't drink very much, but I just don't drink very much. But trying to work when you're hungover.
Oh,
I really have an issue with that. And it's only happened a couple of times for me that I had to like call my client and be like, hey, I overindulged. My hands are still shaky. We need to postpone. Like to swallow my pride and say that to my client, because I'm more like I would rather give them a good quality tattoo than like just get through it because I don't feel good. The blow to my pride, the couple of times that I've had to tell a client like, hey, and one time it was a really good friend, and the other time it was like I had worked on their whole family. So neither time was at the end of the world. And both times they thanked me for being honest. But it's one of those, as a professional, I shouldn't have to make that phone call. I shouldn't have to be like, hey, my hands are shaky today because I overindulged and drank too many Irish car bombs last night.
Oops. Right. Well, I asked the same
part in that film.
Yeah, if they're like, if your clients are also hungover, I always expect that of them. Like, hey,
that's always a nightmare situation.
Yeah, like just don't even come in, you know.
No.
And if they know that, then they're pretty receptive if you accidentally have a birthday that goes downhill or something, you know. Because I mean, I get drunk after 2 White Claws now. like you know, like I just get really hungry and sleepy.
Or like
so
when
or
I was gonna say, or like when you go to have like a shot and then the next thing you know, the bottle's almost empty.
oh
It
god,
happens
yeah.
so
Or
fast sometimes.
bottles of wine are so dangerous. You can't.
But you're not supposed to stop when the cork comes off. You can't put it back
No,
on.
you've got to drink
You
the
just
bottle.
got, and then it'll go bad. So you gotta
so
drink it.
Yeah, you gotta drink it.
It's disrespectful
Yeah,
to not like, and there are wine gods too.
there's wine gods, exactly.
All over Renaissance art, like they're real. People have been painting them for centuries.
I have to get back to doing clothes before the Babel wakes up. So.
Okay. Bye,
Bye, it
Donna.
was good to see you.
See me.
Hey, Donna.
Vediamo a buscare.
Voglio venire a Botisa.
I don't know why I love you. Oh, so that actually just reminded me. You said at the beginning of this play, you just talked about like this is a place for us to play.
Yes.
And that's been coming up in my life a lot lately.
Yes, we need to
Funny,
play
'cause
more.
you just finished the podcast and the
Yes.
last thing you said was play.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. And like my last two dudes that I tattooed were both like super playful cats. And like we giggle and like we get stupid together. And it's like I'm illustrating a child's book. And
Oh, good.
my friend that wrote it, she was part of a workshop that I attended where it was about like emotional healing and shit. And one of the things there is big on play. And I learned how to like talk to my inner child through this. And like before he would talk to me, he like made me sad. He made me cry because he yelled at me for fucking not playing with him anymore. And like, since then, I've been really trying to focus on playing more and not depriving that part of me, which is him. And so the play concept has been coming up a lot. It's a big synchronicity. And writing this child's book, my friend Kiki, she was like, the one that wrote it, I'm illustrating it. And she's like, I just want you to play. Like, I know we put like an emphasis on time of how long this book is going to take to draw, but like I really want your inner child to play. And so hearing that, just I guess I felt the need to make sure everyone in this room or that's watching remembers to play because it's really fucking important. And I just wanted to riff off of that initially, but I didn't say anything at the beginning. And the other way that tattooing is different than most careers, you can't leave Walmart and go open another Walmart, but you can leave a tattoo shop and go open your own tattoo shop.
Yeah.
You can't teach yourself how to be a surgeon and get a job as a surgeon, but you can teach yourself to be a tatter. So like there's something magical and special about the gift that being able to tattoo brings to the user. Like, and that goes back into Tat Gods and having respect with, you know, just the karmic retribution and the karmic sense and the human sense to give back to what you're taking from.
I think one of the reasons that my first few apprenticeships didn't work out is because the Tat Gods knew that I wasn't fucking respecting them and I wasn't deserving of it.
Oof.
I do know for a fact, because I do not have my head shoved up my own ass anymore, that I used to be a fucking entitled brat. Like, I wasn't surrounded by other artists. It was like, I still am an entitled brat. I saw that look, Renee. But now, like, when I was younger, I wasn't surrounded by other artists who like really cared about the art. I was the only person I knew who could draw. So comparatively, I was badass. So I deserved a tattoo. And I didn't realize, and like, yeah, it just wasn't being, what the fuck is going on?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. My iPad went off. Anyways, yeah, no. I think when they saw me sober up and actually start taking time away from social activities so I could go home and work on my art, and they saw me doing that consistently and not just playing with it like a fling, that's suddenly when tattooing like fell into my life and actually became a possible career path and actually started working out. That's because I started respecting the tattoo gods, I think, and they saw that.
Saw it. Yep. That's where your humanity comes from. You know, like you had the tooth, you had the strength, you had the drive, but then you didn't have the compassion and maybe. But I mean, Medusa, since I've known you, I've always thought you were incredibly passionate, and caring, and in the moment, and sweet, and driven, and wanting to communicate and give back. And I think that
Renee, we're gonna have to limit the number of compliments you can give.
I'm feeling very awkward.
See?
I'm like, I can't handle this.
I'll mix it up real quick because this guy. Okay, so this guy on the YouTube thing says is Dale. Sorry, we've been ignoring you. I just realized I could do this. But says that Black Claw has BioCart, no plastic. So I knew that their packaging was. So that's cool. I'll try some. I like Black Claw. Like that stuff's cool.
Isn't Black Claw like one of those ones that as soon as they're in stock, it's really hard to get their stuff?
It's a smaller company. It's Grimes, so it's like.
Yeah, but they're really good, right? That's why they're in such high demand.
Yeah.
Yes, that they are. They have the secret recipe. Like everyone should know. So let's check it out. Let's all see what they've got going on if you can. But okay, thank you, Dale, for that comment. And Medusa, you're just rad, okay? Jeez.
I was kidding about the
I'm
compliment
awkward.
limit.
No, I actually like you speaking up because I feel so awkward.
Well,
this goes back. Robbie and I have talked about like taking compliments before too.
Hard.
It's hard, but thank you.
Hard. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad what you said before, even like where your state of mind was, things like that, because I mean, it is like some people just start their professions later in life when it's time. Like there are some surgeons that start later. There's some people that are like, oh, wow, that's a lot. You know, I don't think I have the emotional capacity, the freedom, everything. You know, so being a tatter isn't like you don't have to be a tattooer. You don't have to be a surgeon. It's the goal. It's a want. It's a trade that is giving back to the community. We are offering a service to people, you know, and it's a luxury. So it's not like hairdressing. You can like just make everyone needs a haircut. You know, we have to like actually show one artistic value, two actual skill. You know,
hairdressers would beg to differ. They have artistic everything. They mix color.
Yes, they do. No, not saying they're not artistic, but if they really needed to work, there's someone out there that needs to get a haircut for court, needs to get a haircut for something. You know, no one needs a tattoo to do something like
no such thing as an emergency tattoo.
No, never. So we're a luxury. We really need to show, like, we have to have a care. We have to. Like, this isn't a guaranteed job, you know? Like, so one, it's a lot to manage. Two, there's no guarantee. So if you don't want to join in the tax god system, then, I mean, have fun.
What are your guys' Tat Gods offerings? I'm curious. Does anybody do offerings?
Yes. Once a month. If someone, I don't go out that often, so I try to like once a month or two months, depending on how much I go out. And if I have like a surfer or a bartender or someone that I can just see as a fucking badass and just gives a fuck, you know, and is doing new things and is working hard and diligent, I will give them like 100% tip.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to please them. Like,
Yeah.
because they'll see
I mean,
that and they'll be like, "You're given, it's gonna come right back."
Yeah. And it's like, I'm like, you're fucking rad. Thank you so much. I really needed this, because I don't go out that much. And I do that sometimes, especially at tattoo conventions. If I had a really good convention, that Sunday meal, like I feel very gracious after some wine and after some like stuff,
Back to the wine gods.
Yeah, to the wine gods. Thank you, wine gods. I do this. I do the reinventing with tattoo things. I like to talk to, it's hard for me to think that I have anything to offer, but this February will be my 17th year tattooing. So I'm like, that's cool. I must know something. I'll just talk, and if someone can grab some kind of information, then cool. I know I've experienced some weird shit too, so I feel like if anyone has any questions, I can maybe like give some advice. I haven't been the homebrewed, tatter and stays that are in her town, and only like I've traveled all over the world. I've done things. I've seen shit. I manage. I don't stop. So I know also like what's unhealthy for someone that's doing what we're doing, because I've been there too. I don't like have drug issues, but I do have sleep issues, eating issues, like self micromanaging issues, so I try to at least give back a little bit, and that is how I serve my tat gods is, and apprenticing is hard for me. I have like 3 really good people that I've mentored in the past, and Robbie, Max, Maxie Poo from Esbins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he considers me one of his mentors, and he's one of my young Padawans. But he'll get sympathetic with me too, Medusa. He'll come and call me every now and again. He'll call me a little like Sylvia and be like, "I love you, Malanene. Thank you so much." Because like I was able to give to him some real core knowledge that he wasn't getting, and that helped him not only own his own shop, but that helped him have a family and have cool, weird drifting cars that he has fun with. And, like he has a cool, rich life because the people around him were able to help him. So I think that's like contributing in that way. And that's why for me, apprenticing is hard. I don't think I can do it anymore. I think I like teaching people that are like already tattooing, kind of know the basics, because it's really hard to not seem overbearing when you're trying to get someone on their feet for the first time, and when that you've been banging your head in a wall or trying to like fight with this horse and bring it to water, there's sometimes you're just like, fuck, fine. So it's already easy to like teach horses that know how to find water themselves,
Yeah.
but this is how you can enjoy this stream, welcome. I've been here for a while,
I have a lot of appreciation for teachers, because like people that actually can communicate how to do things and explain processes it's not easy to do that. You're right. It's really hard. Like somebody once asked me how I choose my color palette. And I feel like when they asked me that, suddenly I didn't know how to talk anymore. I was just like,
well, you see me how I frazzle like it, Matista. Oh my God.
you can't, you don't even remember names. I'm Mercedes.
That's how frazzled I get.
It's confidently frazzled.
That's like my new shirt. That is me. Hi, confidently.
Bottle of water.
Well, I do. I just want to make sure like I fix it. I want to fix. I like figuring out puzzles. I like, oh my God, I accidentally spent like 2 hours on a test game the other night because it was a puzzle thing. And I was like, oh, this honed in. That's what gives me purpose. And apprentices are just that. Like young tatters are just that. They're like, they don't know what they're doing. They're trying to figure it out. They're asking questions that we know the answers. But if they don't like the answer, then like we'll keep trying. And if they just still don't get it and we keep trying, like what's the point where we have to go, listen, maybe this isn't gonna happen, you know? Like maybe our lexicons are different. They don't mesh because I'm saying words and connecting, you know.
Speaking
and that's
of
why,
lexicons, you and Robbie are the only people I have ever heard say tat and tatter so confidently. Like everybody else is like, we don't say that, you know. And I just really love that you don't give a fuck.
Well, we say it because we've been saying it ironically for so long, but
And now it's a thing.
It was a joke at first, and then now it's conversation. It's vernacular now, you know.
Yeah. But okay, but have you tried calling a machine a gun?
Oh yeah, tat gun, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Confidently. Just keep going.
Yeah.
I had to describe to someone the other day what next level shit was. So I was like, it's a full statement. Next level shit is the advancement that every tatter should be wanting to get to, or painter or artist or whatever, because you're advancing a level. You're finding that next spark, that like, oh, that's so crazy. What did you just come up with? That's like a term, a phrase for where we're from, is that next level shit. And I mean, it's hard when you're around people that can't even handle the word shit. Because you're like, I don't know how to do, I mean, you know, the next level. That stuff.
But on the apprentice train and like being able to like work with them right now, I'm also teaching our piercer, who I've known since he was 12. I'm teaching him how to tattoo. And the way that I'm learning how to teach him how to tattoo is give him my curriculum, introduce him to other tattooers, and let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do, and don't judge him for anything he wants to do, even if I know he's being stupid. And like, it's been the easiest ride, just letting go of that like need for control.
Has it been working though?
We're not arguing. I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
What's the word for this?
He did a bit of blackout on his leg the other day, and then he set himself up to do a portrait that he never did, because he's taken on more than he could handle. But like, I'm just sitting here like a cranky old goat, but I'm laughing instead of yelling. So like, oh,
you're sitting there like, go ahead and learn this the hard way. Go ahead. I'm right here to catch you. Go ahead.
Right. And that's the thing, like, and you know what? There is something brilliant that's happened, because I've told him, I'm like, look, Mac, I know how the fuck you are. And it's really annoying because Donna's the same way. And that's why you guys don't get along sometimes, because y'all two motherfuckers is the easiest people for me to get mad at when I'm trying to teach you how to do something, because you ask too many fucking questions. You want to do it too many other fucking ways. You don't want to do my fucking homework. And then you fucking want to do it a different way instead of the way I'm telling you to do it. So instead of getting mad, I'm just like, look, here's the thing. Y'all are just going to learn.
Well, hopefully. I had to learn was a necessity.
What's up?
Oh, yeah. Kitty. Do you want to see Kitty?
Yeah, God. I see a cat.
So what's happening is I'm trying to communicate better, and I'm not angry, and I'm having a nice time, and he's going to learn how to tattoo at some point.
Yeah.
So like that,
if he wants
he's
to
going to learn.
I mean, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, again, it's like, it's all on, what's your timeline? You know, we're all in this big circle, right? We're all doing the thing. Because you've seen those memes of like a tatter's race is just climbing this wall and there's no end, you know? So we're all in this big circle together. Oh, look at that puppy. Puppy time. So,
what breed?
I just got his DNA results back the other day after
Before you read
thinking.
them off, I don't want to interrupt, but I got to bow out for the night. My daughter's waiting for me.
Oh, thank you, Amber,
All
for coming.
right. Good night,
Thanks for you
Amber.
guys.
Have a good night.
You
Have a
too.
good night. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So I'm just gonna straight up say it. He's not a corgi. I know you've seen him in person. Fawn's seen him in person. Not a corgi. Not even a little bit. He is Chow Chow Pomeranian Pitbull.
What the?
Yeah.
Chow Chow. He's way too sweet. Mind blown.
Not really. Not really. He loves other people. He's not sweet to me. This happened earlier.
Dang.
No. Okay, maybe he is
I-
Chow Chow.
Yeah,
that-
I picked up his bone, didn't know that he was still interested in it because I was just cleaning up, picking up the toys, and he got a little bitey. He didn't mean to.
know-
He felt really bad, but yep.
Yeah, I'm covered. It's okay. That's what they do.
Funny you say this because I just maybe 3 nights ago, like I used to test her with food and bones and treats and raw meat all the time, but I haven't lately just because like it's just me and her. But anyways, I made myself a steak and I gave her the T-bone from it. And, it still had like a healthy portion of meat on it. It wasn't scraped very clean at all. But anyways, I give it to her and I start like playing with her ears and I take it out of her mouth and I give it back to her. And then I like put my hand in her mouth and took it again. And I'm playing with her feet and playing with her ears and like doing all the things that you shouldn't do to a dog when it has a treat like that. And she's still great. I don't know, since she was a little, I always wanted to like kid proof her because she's around my nieces and nephew a lot. So like, what do kids do? They get in dogs' faces. They take their food, they take their treats, they take their toys. But Lolo she'll just like look at you and be like, "Can I have it back?" And you give it back, and she goes right back into treat mode.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I adopted Jonesy just a few months ago. I mean, I guess it's been like 8 or 9 months. It was right after Bomber died.
Yeah.
So like literally just a couple months before Hell City. And he was 5 and we didn't know anything about his history when I adopted him. And he was very bitey in the shelter and very body sensitive. And we had worked a lot. And what I've learned is now that he's settled in, he's a very sweet dog. But I think that he has maybe had an insecurity with food in the past or toys, because he only really gets that way if it's like something that he's currently playing with. And he did growl at me and I wasn't paying attention to that. And I still went.
He gave the warning.
He gave me a warning and I just completely disregarded it because I just wasn't really paying attention. I was picking up other toys too that he wasn't playing with and I just reached for the wrong one and realized, oh, that's what you were growling about. But I I was supposed to get tattooed this evening, actually. But after this happened, I went to my room and I am in my bed because I actually took a moment to cry because not because of the pain, but because my feelings were really hurt. I was like, Jesse, you hurt me. The pain was really bad too. I hadn't had my blood sugar up and that much adrenaline all at once made me very dizzy and it was actually very painful. There's a couple of punctures, but no breaking. But yeah, no, he's not the sweetest. So there's definitely the Chow Chow makes sense.
The Chow Chow. I literally have
The pit bull confuses me.
Yeah, I don't see the pit. I have a scar on my face from a chow. I was young. I got in their face and it bit my head and shook me loose. And I woke up 5 feet away from it, covered in blood.
Oh, wow.
And so I have one of those, like, it's very specific with large standard poodles and chows. I'm like, oh, fuck no. But your dog, fine.
Yeah, he's so sweet. Like, and he loves strangers too. Like, he's not this way with other people.
Yeah, he's a socialite,
Yeah, like at Hell City. Oh my God, we couldn't go anywhere.
Well, corgi to me.
Yeah. But yeah, wait, Fawn, yours is a pit bull too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
she's,
they know each other.
She's a bully, actually.
Well, still, bully family. Maybe they know each other, like distant cousins. Can you ask her if she's met Jonesy or heard of him? Like,
Is Jonesy
they're
your
friends.
distant cousin?
Look at these babes.
Distant cousin.
What a sweetie.
She's actually
Oh
being
my God,
really good. She's usually in my business when I'm doing stuff like this.
I want to cuddle mine in solidarity, but he's got his bone next to him, so I'm a little afraid.
Yeah, just leave him. Cows were like protectors of the dynasties, right? Like they were like
there were livestock guardians, royalty, and working dogs, and food. Yeah. They had multiple purposes. Yes, apparently they are gamey and a little salty.
Ooh,
I looked it up.
A little salty.
Yeah, I looked it up because when I found out he's part Chow Chow, I Googled Chow Chow characteristics, and one of the Google, like, did you mean type of, the drop down menu thing was, what does Chow Chow's taste like? And I was like, click. Click.
Oh God.
But yeah, anyways, apprentices, keep your hands away from dog mouths.
Yes.
So that you can keep working.
Yeah, keep working.
Actually, like, it's a funny thing to joke about, but like some of my bigger like phobias to my own like health and well-being are my hands and my eyes. I kind of like have meltdown. Like if like, let's say I happen to pinch my hand in something, I like do this thing where I like cover it and look away, and I have to like, I gotta like get myself ready to look at like 3 missing fingers, even though it's always fine. But I have like this weird anxiety about my hands, just because like a hand injury or a wrist injury or a serious eye injury would change my whole life. Like, would I be able to be an artist? Absolutely. But would I be able to tattoo? Depending on the injury. Like,
yeah, I want to paint with my toes, but if I can't tattoo because of the little finite things that we do with our machines and stuff, and then even our eyesight, like I got LASIK. And that was one of the scariest fucking days of my life. Because I was like, doctor, you can't fuck up.
Yeah, I think
I need these.
But I need these. And a thing to think about, because after I got LASIK, like I realized that, like, one, I felt very insecure, like I didn't have my shield. But also I did have to wear readers a little bit. And I started thinking, even as like a young tatter, like, why the fuck have I not been wearing readers this entire time? Because you can actually sit up and back, and you have like, you can zone into everything you can see. So like, talk about eye protection, like just go out and get a real weak pair of readers, guys, because it is life changing.
That is actually really solid advice, because I can only tattoo if I'm like this close. And I know that that's not healthy. It's not great for my body. It's not good for me to be that close to the canvas, but I feel like it's the only way I can actually see the details I'm working with.
We have these little squishy nerves in between our vertebrae and our neck and our back. And if we just go like this all the time, it starts wearing everything down. So as much as you can just like bring your head up, the better. Because you will want those neck muscles to be awesome. And so just get some readers. It's hot. It makes you look more distinguished.
That is really good idea. Yeah, I already got like one of those humps forming in my back. And lately, a couple of my friends have been noticing that I might have some developing back problems too, because my leg keeps going numb. And they're all like, that's a sciatic problem. And also I can't twist after a certain degree. So I think I need a massage, maybe do some stretches.
Didn't you used to be like a hot mess yoga instructor?
I was an aerobics instructor.
Oh, okay. All right.
When I was in my, no, fuck yoga. I hate yoga. It's too slow and it's difficult. Aerobics is like fast.
Bye, guys. Love you. Enjoy
I
your.
love
Good
you.
night.
Yeah, you too.
Love you. Bye.
Love
Say
you.
bye to-
Bye. This
Kiss
week.
the baby.
I will. You guys have a good. I gotta go help
See you, Robbie.
take care of Babel. So
Yes.
guys have a great night. Great seeing you all.
It's good seeing you too.
Bye. And
Bye.
aerobics was also when I was a teenager, and I am not a fucking teenager. I do
Okay,
not
my
have
mistake.
that youth anymore.
I thought it. I thought it was yoga. I was going to give you a hard time about not working on your flexibility, but
No,
I'll take that
I actually dropped out of yoga class in college because it was too stressful.
back.
Trying to hold my farts in with those poses like really gave me a lot of anxiety. So I was like,
Oh
screw
man.
this.
Oh man. You just need to do it at home so you can fart in peace.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, let those farts out, girl.
Yeah. Nah, I got a subscription to the climbing gym. So that's what I've been trying to use as motivation to like limber up and get back into physical activities because I haven't been a very physical person in quite some time.
That's actually really good. Timing will get you like more in practice because you utilize so much of your like the arms, you know.
Your whole body.
I'm not even kidding. I'm finding out that like everyone thinks I used to work out and now I'm like saggy, but this is actually just inflammation in the back of my arms too from doing this for almost like, you know, 17 years, whatever that is. So like, it's just, if you think about it, these muscles in here. And so now I get like all here worked out. I make sure I'm just like well stretched. I wake up in the morning. I do like power punches if I can. That's a new thing. It's really important to keep yourself limber. Like Derb, Fun's coworker, boss guy, Retry. He has like a really good summer too. Best friend guy, ever, you know.
Yeah, I saw the longevity for the tattooer seminar, and I have really been taking that to heart ever since it was aired on the Reinventing channel because like he made a lot of really, really good points in that. Like, and like he brought attention to a lot of things that I hadn't thought about. And I'm really glad that I got to see that seminar, like, and all of that because I'm still early in my career and I can like make these changes now before bad habits form. So thanks, Derb.
Yeah, thanks, Derb. And it is like a lot of us learn when we are finally fucked up. And some of us can just learn to prevent it, you know. And it's just to live longer and do our practice longer and to move like we want to. Like I would love to feel 100% normal after tattooing all day, but it's just not going to happen, you know. And I did take pretty good care of myself as an apprentice and as a young tatter. Like compared to everyone else, you know, I wasn't able to drink like they did as much. So I wasn't able to like stay up all night. But I would stay up all night like painting. Fawn, I'm even looking at you right now. Sit up, girl. Look at that back. So
come on my comfy couch.
I know, look at me. I'm like,
let me get more comfortable.
Yeah. We gotta.
I actually readjusted as we were having this conversation because I realized that I was hunching over and my board is like way too far away. And if I just tilt it like this, I'm actually at a good angle.
I know, I've been trying there. That's how I intended to sit, like this. God, it's so hard.
So the readers actually work though?
Yeah, it really do. You have to kind of get used to looking up and looking down really quick. You know, you'd be like, oh, well, that's a lot. But once you're like honed in and tatting, it's so cool. Like I literally can sit back and just see everything up and close. And they've just made anything really easy. I don't have to get close. I don't have to squint at all. Like I can just like really relax my eyes. And so I've been able to tattoo longer. And it started actually because I was feeling a little eye strain, you know, just a little like getting LASIK is weird because it's like you have to learn different muscles to see, like I'm not looking through lenses anymore. So my muscles were kind of atrophied here and there. So focusing was a different muscle completely. And I would get tired. So, I talked to my guy and they're like, oh, you might just need some readers. Like you're almost 40. So it's about time anyways, and, oh, bye, Lynn. I think we lost someone. Yep. Bye. So yeah, they do really work. And I'm trying to, I'm spreading the news. It's pretty rad. So yeah, everyone get used to it. They're like, you can get them at the gas station sometimes. Like just get a little shitty pair of readers. You'll love it. And then you have extra splash guard on your eyes, which is rad.
So you guys know the glasses that like dentists and surgeons wear. They've got the little like loops on them.
Oh yeah.
So there are a few companies that make those, but when Russ was working on my back, Russ Abbott, he was at the same time kind of like taking charge of his health and getting in shape and starting to lose weight and being like mindful of his posture and things like that. So we ordered a pair of glasses and this company came to Ink and Dagger and they actually like measured him, measured how he worked. They asked him really specific questions like what he wanted like the focal distance to be. And Russ, being Russ, did like calculations and everything. And he was like, I need my focal distance to be 15 inches away because that's my comfortable work distance. So by changing the focal distance on these glasses, he magnified it to exactly what he wanted to magnify it to. He changed the focal point to 15 inches. So now as he works, he sits up straight, and then he brought me, the client, like in an upright, he was working on my back. So I was sitting upright in front of him. But when he was wearing these glasses, instead of like turning into a shrimp to get close, like we tend to do, the comfortable focal point is him sitting up straight. So now he doesn't even need to worry about that urge to come in closer and closer because he's at the focal point right here at his best ergonomic position. So I'm not saying that everybody needs to go overboard and spend $1,500 to have custom surgeon loops made for you, but it would be a really cool way to save your spine. And if you want to do that the cheap way, just experiment on some different magnifications of readers, because like you can get readers for like $3 from the dollar store. So get a whole bunch of different ones, figure out which magnification you like, and then buy yourself a nice pair of that magnification. Like you could experiment for $20 and get different glasses and then figure out what ones are going to work best for your situation. And it's crazy how like when you improve your eyesight, your line work is going to instantly get better. Your fill and saturation is going to instantly get better because instead of seeing this smear of color that we see come out of the end of the tattoo tube, we're going to see each individual dot. Like if you can improve your eyesight and magnify it, you're going to see each penetration of color into the skin. So there's going to be less guesswork on the amount of trauma to the skin, when you can actually see.
Yes. Well, a lot of people don't even realize that they're not seeing until they see. So, I mean, you can get 3 at Sam's Club for different percentages of magnification. Go ahead and just experiment to where like you can see the best. So, of course, Russ, like got the best of the best. But yeah,
it's Russ.
I think it's less intimidating to go pick up some readers. And there's no shame in it because I mean this is what we do.
But while we're on the topic of apprentices and early tattooers, like if most of us probably, unless we wear glasses, there are so many adults who haven't had an eye exam since they were in like 2nd grade.
Yeah.
So there are some people, like I want to use this story as an example. My coworker came to me and he was like, hey, I got a question. And I was like, what's up? And he was like, when you're tattooing, how do you know when the needle's gonna, basically, I can't remember the exact words, but he was like, how do you know when the needle's actually touching the skin versus when it's the shadow of the needle touching the skin? And I was tattooing at the time, and I just stopped, and I was like, how good is your eyesight? And he was like, I mean, I think it's fine. Long story short, he went to the eye doctor like 2 weeks later. Thankfully, he took my advice, and there was a disruption in the way his eyes were focusing together. So he has to wear glasses so that his eyes hit the same focal point together. It's like his eyes weren't, when he focused on fine details, they weren't coming all the way like to the premium focal point. So now he has glasses, and his tattooing has gotten easier, it's gotten cleaner, it's gotten faster. And it was like, I don't know, just the right way to ask the question, where I was like, how are your eyes? And then my younger brother, he started an apprenticeship with me, and he's my brother, so I knew he had problems with his eyes as a kid. He had a lazy eye, he had surgery to correct it, and then growing up, he always wore glasses. But before we got into his apprenticeship, before we even got into anything with how the needles go into the skin, my first question for him was, how is your eyesight now? Because I can see things super duper well. So if I'm explaining something that he physically can't even see, we're talking to a brick wall, and he can't learn from what I'm explaining. So,
that's a good question to ask the apprentices. Like, how good is your eyesight? Because maybe that's a lot of confusion, especially with like getting into line work and stuff like that. I mean, I had glasses getting into it. I was like regimented, I think so. But yeah, that's a good thing to think about, especially when you're getting started. If you're not seeing things clearly, go get an eye exam.
And the other thing is, before we get too far down this rabbit hole, if you have impaired eyesight, that doesn't necessarily count as a mark against you.
No.
One of the tattooers I really, really look up to, Guy, he's not shy about it, but he has, he's partially colorblind, and one of his eyes is much stronger than the other. So if we look at the way Guy works and the way that he uses, the way he builds depth and the way he builds texture, maybe his eye impairment is actually his superpower, because he has to work a little bit differently to achieve the same effect or a better effect. Or so,
that's a really good point.
A bad thing.
Yeah,
I know a really good tattooist who is very colorblind, but they found ways to adapt.
Yeah, colorblindness is never really that big of an impediment. But if you're seeing double, or if you can't see the needle hitting the skin, I think that's time, because there are ways to go through colorblindness. Same thing. My tatty brother, Toddy, is he's pretty colorblind, but we found ways. Like, he knows how colors react. He knows, what to do, and his color tattoos are brilliant, vibrant, really good contrasting colors. Like, he knows what to do. He knows the rules, and so out of that, he gets these really cool experiments. And so, yeah, sometimes our imperfection is our perfection.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing that might set you apart from the next person.
Exactly.
The next artist. The way you interpret might be different because of this difference in your eyesight. But
exactly. And I was worried about that when I got LASIK too. That was a big step in trust, and understanding what could happen. But I think there is a little difference. I used to really, really hone in, and I've noticed in my work since I've had LASIK, I do tattoo bigger expanding objects, my detail's still there, but I've definitely make things a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, a little bit. And I think because I don't have the frames that I'm looking through when I'm designing, I am actually stepping back and seeing bigger picture that I've never really seen before. Because I couldn't even wear contacts, I've just been in frames my whole life. So I do look at things differently now too. But yeah, I think I think this was a pretty good talk, y'all, about, is there anything else you guys can would like to comment on apprenticeships of today, or what? I know we kind of jumped around a little bit. I mean, we went over Tat Gods. Listen to the Tat Gods, guys. But I don't know. I think there's a lot to learn from people that are like getting into this industry now, that some of us are also learning with you, alongside you, like new technology, new plastics that me and Fawn have been tattooing forever. And we didn't even know about these eco-friendly plastics. Like, I'm like, what? I'm gonna look it up tonight and see what it's made of.
Yeah, I'm still skeptic that it's not just the packaging that's eco-friendly. I'm gonna have to check into this because it could be something totally new that I just haven't seen yet, but it'll blow my mind. These are actually like a biodegradable plastic that the cartridge is actually made out of.
Yeah, same. Because I'm like, what?
Because if and like we know, like most needles are only made by a few manufacturers. There's just slightly different specs in the shapes and things like that. But I'm definitely going to look into it. It would be rad if I were proved wrong. But to my knowledge, I really think once we would do some homework, it's only going to be the packaging. But I would be delighted to be proved wrong. So
I'd delighted too. But then that also begs the question of like, well, we still burn them.
Right.
So
if they were hemp-based plastics, we're totally cool burning hemp, right?
Yeah.
Putting clean carbon into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to leave a tiny carbon footprint, not a big one, a teeny tiny one.
Teeny one. I mean, no, I'm
like a little,
like
a little chickadee print.
I mean, okay. How long have I been eco-friendly? The time that I've opened the shop, like I was in COVID, I was like, well, I have time to think about this stuff now. I guess I'll think about it. And it's been developing for how long? Jesus. Like, so I think about like the years that I've been tattooing and haven't been eco-friendly, and like, oh, I could fill like a large house full of human body trash bags full of bio waste,
Yeah. At the end of the day, it comes down to just being mindful when we talk about eco-friendly anything. I mean, because here's a discussion. There's an artist that I know that is incredibly conscious and very eco-friendly, and he uses the paper caps, which is rad, but he uses like a huge dollop of Vaseline and scoops that on his tray, and that's what he's holding the caps down with. So it's like, that's kind of counterproductive because you've still got a dollop of petroleum that you're using as glue. You might as well just be using plastic at that point. So it's one of those, like, we're all making these mindful adjustments, but if we start nitpicking our processes, we're all just doing the best we can, Well,
and I was thinking about this. Someone was talking to me because I really want to get more engaged with the eco-friendly seminar, because I am now 100% biodegradable in the tattoo room. Like, nice. We recycle all of the shop's plastics that we get in. Paper, we figure that out. We recycle paper in-house. And we are biodegradable. It's not even compostable. It's biodegradable because of the pulp that I'm making, the bio cleanup that I'm making. And which is really fucking hard, I realize. And I need a fucking warehouse to make a lot of it. But I've been able to serve my shop, and that's it. And that's cool. But I've been thinking about making a video of it because like I've been able to find my methods, but then there's people that have written me like, oh, I'm in this area. How do I get this product? Blah, 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 blah. So then I thought, how cool would it be as far as my tattoo retirement? Because, I could just like travel and go to shops and be like, and just eyeball everything and see if I can find little ways to just better their system.
Be like an eco-friendly consultant. Like streamline
workflow
as well as make it more eco-friendly.
Yeah, because I believe in the tier system. Like, we're doing what we can, and it's all about like our situation, our environment, like what your trash pickup is in your city, if they offer recycling, what are they actually doing with the recycling? It's all like a lot of research. It's all a lot of just time spent because I've had to do it for my own. Like people just thought I just started doing it. I'm like, no, it took forever to just, yes, ma'am. Oh,
I'm just saying bye. I gotta go.
bye. It's good
We're
seeing
just kind
you.
of babbling now. We could probably all wrap up, huh?
Yeah, I know. We've been fucking jamming.
Well,
Oh,
I just have to
I've
pee
enjoyed myself.
really, really bad. And I was just like,
are you coming to Hell City? Oh yeah, we have to show what we've been doing.
oh, yes, I'm going to Hell City. I'm just drawing leaves for my next shadow box.
I'm
beautiful.
Ooh, I like that. Take a picture of your shadow box when you're done. I wonder if we're like doing almost the same craft right now, but different. I'm
Maybe.
making dried leaves and the backgrounds are plein airs. But I'm doing the dried leaves like foreground, like dried flowers, dried leaves, and I'm finding cool frames, and then I'm doing plein air scenes behind them. And they turned out
I mean, maybe. I have a few projects that are just like that, like some roses I dried that are going to be intertwined with layers of paintings.
Oh, fuck yeah, girl. See, we're on the same.
Yeah, we're brainwaves.
Brainwaves.
I smell a
Brainwaves.
collab.
I smell a collab too.
That's what you smell?
Yeah. Well, it's just us three, yeah. Let's see. I'm drawing a tummy tattoo because tummy tats are fucking back. Of
Hell yeah.
Sailor Pluto.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, sorry, you got like an emotional. Oh, I love
it. I'm pretty.
You gotta text me and show me when that tattoo is getting worked on. I want to see a Sailor Pluto, Saturn, and Mars, my dude. There's like the holy trio of badass bitches that don't give a fuck.
She's a lone sailor just protecting some fucking time portal, and she's badass.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's love like Sailor Pluto, and she's sexy as hell.
Yeah, she's
all like, I had my like a bi-curious awakening watching fucking Sailor Moon. It was like, Pluto, hello.
They broke all rules that we knew of.
I'm a new woman because of that show.
I'm a better person because of that show.
I always love their like the girls' lesson thing at the end. And like, today we learned that gossiping sucks and you never know whose feelings you're gonna be hurting. So why even bother? Blah blah blah. Sailor Moon, till next time. Woo!
Yeah.
They did the
I thought all cats were like protectors because of Sailor Moon.
That explains it.
Yeah, like if a cat follows because they're really actually from a different planet that you actually are a princess at, and they're here to protect you.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you mean that's not how it really is?
Well, that's why like they let me know.
Okay, because if you tell me that's fantasy, I gotta have a talk with my cats.
Oh God, no!
I've been under the impression they were guarding my life and keeping me safe.
They are.
Or, I mean, that or plotting your demise. It could go either way.
I don't think they are. I think they're protectors. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure mine. Yeah, they stare and they blink at me a lot, and I hear that's good.
Yeah,
they just look and blink.
Yeah, and they blink real slow, and I do it back to them, and we just have like a blinking off where we like just keep blinking at each other. It's happened for like 45 minutes once, and it was just like, okay, I love you.
I can get down with it.
Had a full-blown conversation
with blink,
just blinking in slow Morse code.
But I am gonna head out. So
we're gonna start. Oh yeah, Fawn, what's your painting? Show us real quick. Ooh,
weird fantasy-scape.
Oh, I love it.
That is really cool. I
so
like
cool.
that.
It's coming along.
We all need to do a collab. All of us.
Hell City.
You know, honestly, I could, so at Hell City, I believe this isn't 100% set in stone, but I think at Hell City, if you're facing the stage, I'm going to be in that corner off to the right, like behind the stage where I was last year. So I'll have plenty of space for like all of the electronics, as well as maybe I can just bring an easel and one of these larger canvases, and we can like maybe somewhat plan, maybe something like I don't know, psychedelic landscapes, I think are probably easy for all of us, but plan something like that we could just noodle on together all weekend. We could do it.
That'd be cool.
Are we all comfortable enough in oils to jump into something like that?
Yeah.
Yarp.
Yeah, let's kind of just plan on having a collaborative project in the corner that we can kind of develop together all weekend.
You're going to think this is cheesy then. I thought about, same wavelength. I thought about doing one for the public and having like a little easel stand up so people can come up and just like, and at the end of the show, we can do like, oh, this is a viewers collab, and just, I don't know.
That would be kind of cool. The collectors collab.
Yeah, because I figured I'm going to have such anxiety just being like, hi, I'm painting. Look at me painting.
You think you'll have anxiety?
Yeah,
it's okay. You belong there, Renee. Don't be anxious.
No.
You're going to be among your people.
I know. I'm excited about that. And I will have a booth partner that'll help me, who's my counter person here, and she's lovely and rad. So I'll have some help, But no, I'm pretty stoked actually. I've got a lot of really cool paintings I haven't shown anyone. So I get to show them. And oh my God, Fawn, I have to shellac like right now.
What?
I have a huge oil painting that I have to lacquer. And I'm so scared that I'm gonna fuck it up. Because it's been forever since I've done that. It's been forever.
How long has it been drying?
Drying forever. It's been dry. It's enough. I think like 8
More
months.
than a few months. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you using to varnish it?
I think it's just a standard. It's just standard varnish. I think I got. It's been sitting there.
Is it Damar? Is it Damar or just a random?
No, it's Damar varnish. But it's been sitting. That should be fine, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Temperature, does that have any effects?
No, and once the Damar crystals are dissolved in the turpentine, you're good to go. Did you make it yourself or did you just buy it?
I just
did you buy the crystals and the terp? So I always get the crystals and the turpentine and just dissolve them together and they stay. Like it doesn't go bad. I actually just finished a can that I had since college about a year ago and it was still fine.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep. Damar crystals. It's one of the cool properties of Damar. It just stands the test of time, and then you can always reconstitute it with turpentine. So, that's the nice thing about using Damar specifically, because, let's say 200 years from now, when it's time for this painting to be restored and cleaned,
right.
Then they're going to be like, oh, this was clearly Damar varnish, and they're going to take their little cotton swab and they're going to take all of that Damar off and then put a new layer on.
Oh, that loud spittle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying actually my first painting cleaning right now. It's something that I inherited, and my friend here works for all the galleries and stuff like that. And she saw it. She was like, "Why haven't you cleaned this yet?" I'm like, "Cause it's also been since college since I've done anything." And I fucking feel like an idiot, and it's so scary. I don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, I think this whole month or week, I've been really nervous because of the temperature here, and I've only done this stuff in Florida where it's humid and hot. It took forever to dry, but here it's dry and cold. So
I learned how to do it in Detroit. So
yeah, I've just fucked up epoxy projects because of that, and I'm like, I cannot fuck up these things because I'm also gonna be driving.
With epoxy, you're dealing with an actual crystallization and chemical reaction that's happening. With Damar, once you apply that varnish, the turpentine is going to dissolve or evaporate out of it, and that's what's going to cause the crystal structure to reoccur. It's the actual evaporation, rather than with epoxy, you've got one chemical and another chemical, and they don't become hard until they're mixed. It's different than drying.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Consistent.
you won't ruin it. Just go in
Okay.
confidently. One thing that I always kick myself for before I varnish is not dusting my painting good enough and making sure I don't have any bristles stuck to it. That's one of the things, like, I always feel like I could spend extra time looking my paintings over and pulling bristles and stuff out. And
Right.
then I'm usually very generous when I clear them. So I just kind of pour the varnish on. And then, as much as I hate foam brushes, I like a natural brush. When I varnish, inevitably, I never get all the varnish out of my brush and I ruin it. So I just use the foams, the little foam disposables, and they give me a nice finish.
I remember, have you ever used like a silicone type spatula?
I wouldn't discourage it, but I guess it depends on how high of a gloss you want on your painting.
True beans. Yeah. I'll take a
Also,
picture of this painting and send it to you too, so I can show you. I can like finger some of my concerns, but because I can't. If I touch it up now, I've screwed my time. So I feel like it's.
let me ask you this: is your painting on acrylic gesso or is it on natural gesso?
Acrylic.
Okay. Well, you said it's been 8 months.
Yeah.
Do you still have any areas of the painting that where like the impasto is thick and it's still soft?
No.
Yeah, then you should be good.
Okay.
The reason I ask is if you use a natural gesso, that's just rabbit skin glue or a skin glue and gypsum. So it'll continue like releasing gases through the back of the canvas. But
and it's on, so I was thinking there has some nice little sponge quality to that too. Like it's absorbing a little bit. But no, good point. I just mostly use acrylic gesso. So I don't think that's a problem, but okay. Yeah. I'll like give it a good feel, just double check, but I'm pretty sure it's like everything is dried,
Okay. Yeah, as long as it's had like ample time for all of those fumes and gases to escape. What you run into if you don't give a painting enough time is you can have delamination of your varnish, which is basically where the gases will push that varnish off of the painting, and eventually that's where the painting will crack or the clear will crack first. So not the end of the world, but if you care to have heirloom quality work, it's worth taking the time.
So I am nervous. Everyone that's watching this last little bit, we get really nervous still, no matter what.
Oh man.
Like been 2 years or more, I'm like, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do. What do I do?
Yeah. There's always that sense of like once you've called a painting finished and you love it, and then you're getting to like the presentation parts of the painting, it's always kind of nerve-wracking because you like love it at that point and you love what it is at that point. So
I'm like super proud of it. I've walked past it enough and said, that's done. Oh yes. And it just dries and dries and dries. And then you're like, it's time.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So I'm excited to show it. It'll be fun.
Yep. Be bold, clear it. Just I feel like I could always take a little bit more time and dust mine and make sure they're totally clean before I clear them. But about it.
Okay. All right. If I get nervous, I'll just call you.
I got faith. The varnish is going to be fine, especially if it's had several months like that.
And I'm bold, so I'll just like this.
Do it twice. Call it jazz.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. How long does it dry?
Huh?
Oh yeah. How long does it take to dry?
Varnish?
Yeah. How long do you give it?
A day.
So I figured. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like cured in a day, but it dries pretty quickly to the touch. That's how I always end up ruining my brushes. I don't get them cleaned quick enough before the turpentine starts evaporating out of them. So,
okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Cool.
can text me. I'll walk you through it. I nerd out on that kind of stuff. So.
No, I know. That's why I asked. I'm like, no one else nerds out on this. Like, I can either watch a YouTube channel, which I usually do, and I'm like, yeah, get to the point, or I just ask you.
Well, that makes me feel good. But
yeah, thanks, Molly.
I like to share the knowledge that I don't get to share very often. So
yeah.
Anyhow, Will.
Anywho, it was good seeing you.
All right, lady. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for hosting and having me on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And everyone, thank you for watching, especially if you've been watching this far. It's time to go draw something. So have a good night, everybody, and see you soon.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.